Over. Hey, Dan, Brad, what happened today?
Hi, Scott. Thanks for the wonderful intro. Barry, thanks for joining the team today on the Q&A. I feel like we missed you last one for some reason, but always great to have you there. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad, how's your audio?
You're coming through loud and clear. How am I coming through?
5-5, Patriot, Brad.
5 by 5, my friend.
That's right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into it. It's going to be a fun one today. This is your Q&A session with the CEO and his band of merry men as we tackle the demons of Wall Street and try to bring unusual, extraordinary returns to the individual investor. Hey, you, sir, over there, do you have a question? Okay, hold on, here we go. Trade Ideas is not a registered investor. You're going to be hearing from myself, Brad, Scott, Barry, or any team member of Trade Ideas. Should be construed as just for informational and educational purposes, and should you need specific investment advice, please contact a registered investment advisor.
Yeah, I got an email. I got an email yesterday, Dan. One of our users asking how big of a share size they should use, and that's just one of my responses back was, we're not a registered investment advisor. We don't really know anything about your account, so really difficult for us to give you any advice in that regard. So we don't.
But at the same time, I'll touch upon that. Disclaimer in hand. Okay, everybody got their disclaimer? Congratulations. We're all disclaimed. Okay. Guys, the way we do the Q&A for newbies is this kind of a little bit of an introduction portion where we tell you a little bit about ourselves. You are looking at the vendors, engine technology on this realm of ours. Better than Google, better than, I don't know who else Google competes with. Don't they own all of them, Brad? I think they might.
I think in one way or another, they're touching them all.
Right, but what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is an actual real-time data search engine. We watch every single stock in real time, and our computers in the cloud, not the Amazon cloud, but the nice cloud with rays of sunshine in it. What they do is they crunch all of this data looking for unusual behavior, and we statistically profile them, much like if you ever watched some shows about the FBI and their criminal profiling. So to catch criminals, they would need to figure out, well, how do these criminals behave? So for us, it's not catching criminals, it's catching extraordinary returns. So we look at lots of past instances of extraordinary returns for all sorts of different time frames, from your very long-term buy and hold time frame to the swing trade time frame to the intraday time frame. We're analyzing all of this right now as I speak so eloquently. The servers are crunching all of this data. They're taking today's information, processing it, and seeing if they can give it to you in an advantageous point of view for your trading tomorrow. That's what we are. That's what we do. We're this amazing real-time market data, but it really could be applied to anything real-time, but market data search engine, and nobody does what we do, which is why we've been on the Inc. 5000 list for the last 3 years, soon to be 4, and only 15% of companies in the United States that have ever been on the Inc. 5000 have ever done it 3 times and soon to be 4 times. 4 times, soon to be 5. Yikes. Brad, correct me on these things. But all of this is done because of you, your patronage. We are grateful for it. Our subscribers are our venture capital partners. Instead of selling our souls to the evil guys in Silicon Valley, we never did that. Okay, well, we did it once, but then we really learned the lesson the hard way. But this time, we didn't do it. We just created a profitable business. It's been running since 2003, made right here in the US of A with homegrown US developers. Amazing thing, Brad. Nowadays.
It makes me hungry. I don't know why, but.
Yeah. It's good to be Trade Ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, what we do differently, okay? What we do differently than everybody else is we force you to focus on the stuff that matters. Do you know what matters the most? Your profit and loss. Hey, IB. Brad, do you hear that, or is that just when I hear it?
Yeah, I hear it, but it's really subtle. It's really light.
I'm like, hey, English guy from IB, I'm doing a webinar.
Well, that's the typical data cutting out that happens after market hours every day.
Correct. But back to what I was saying, guys, is that you have lots of interesting companies in our field of analytics. You have these guys, TrendSpider and Telechart 2000, and the old school, Brad, the dinosaurs, eSignal, and Metastock, and you have Ninja Trader. You have all of these guys, and primarily they're all focused on the same thing, trying to sell you a slightly better bell and whistle. And we have a totally different approach. We believe that we are the ecosystem, but the ecosystem is primarily based on your P&L. So as you can see here, this slide is a little mnemonic for you to show you that we focus on your money. The positions will come, but it's what you do right after you're in, because once you're in, all the squiggly lines start not to matter, Brad. And that's the thing that people don't really quite know how to grasp, because they've never ever seen it. And Trade Ideas, the reason we are growing so quickly, and especially right now, since people are realizing, Brad, that the stock market is better than sports betting and better than sports, because it is an ultimate equalizer. Bill Gates, if he only had 100,000 to trade or 50,000 to trade, he wouldn't necessarily outdo you. It's that beautiful equalizer where you are really competing against other people's intuition, your intuition versus theirs, how you see the picture of supply and demand, and how you master your emotions. And you're going to see it from my point of view. I'm going to show you something so cool today. Because, Brad.
I'm waiting, baby. What you got?
They don't make it easy, dude.
Well, I saw that's your name. They don't make it. Look,
They don't make it easy, Brad.
We've been in the market for a long time. They do not make it easy, and they never have.
But guys, now Scott said, here's the question. I wonder, I sort of want to, Brad, are we allowed to ask a impromptu question of how many people were at the last Q&A? Just curious. Is that possible?
Yeah, you can ask that. I'm sure they can answer it in the question panel.
Let's do something. Come on. I want to know how many people here, because it's going to matter for what I'm going to show you next. And silence befalls the Q&A webinar. How do we do it?
Not yesterday, last Wednesday, last week.
Wednesday.
It is recorded, so it's on our YouTube channel. I can enjoy it.
Well, fine. So let's, I'm going to minimize the PowerPoint. We'll come back to it towards the end of the presentation. Fully scripted trading plan that, by the way, is automated by a lot of people, where they let the computer enter and exit form everything. The question is just what mode you want to do and how you want to manage risk. But what you're seeing here is these are the trades that happen. You can almost like do it, this one or that one. Behavior all sort of yesterday to have something new. That's what makes the AI great. Okay. Brent just asked, every single trade here is designed for a potential. You do not have to see this and sign up and you start using the AI. In fact, the thing that most on the part working on it in this particular live, and that if you sort of remember, is just us getting into this.
Change your chart. When you got into it, it'll throw that.
That's one of the cool things that are better. But the bottom line is 99 points on average was just simply, whoops, let me move that again. What would it take for you, for example, to be able to capture 199 points on something like, and can you do that unless you experience, this is tangible. So we're always all day long with one another. Any strategy,
I see the question.
these visuals within the hour. So I have it sorted by, in this case, what's up the most over the last hour. So these ones are kind of like starting to turn, and go into the direction that I like to see, so that again, if I see something that I like, depending on the volume, I can go, hey, this looks interesting. And I can even tell myself to, set in a word, to oversimplify the trading behavior, because so many people are stuck in a mode of paralysis by analysis with umpteenth numbers of indicators, hoping that, that next one indicator is going to be the one that's going to tell me what to do and it's going to be right. But there is no such indicator. And we are really in the business of proving that there is no such indicator, because what we've learned is the way that you approach analysis in the market is purely mathematical. You don't look at specifically RSI for just RSI's sake. You can look at that number and see if it's relevant, but there's tons of numbers you can look at. And the idea is you search for the statistic. You find, well, what is working? Is it significant mathematically? Like, is this something that looks like something that we can take advantage of? And know that there's also a lot of noise in the market, okay? Which is why the risk management comes into play and why we have so many critical components built in to your trading environment. For example, notice here, I'm gonna just expand this out real quick and zoom in, okay? You see two things. You see what's called a swing exit, and you see a smart stop. So what that means is the following. Although the software is not in it, it takes a hypothetical guess based on the fact that you're looking at it right now and says, well, what would I do if I went long? And if it went long based on the volatility of this stock today and what it does, et cetera, it would set a stop right here. It would take profits right here. And for a swing, it would hold it all the way down to here. So you have all of this information for every single stop. So I'll just pull up NVIDIA, okay? And very similar things, okay? Obviously, NVIDIA is so expensive, they're a lot closer together. And also I'm looking at the daily charts. I can change the time frame, and here you can see the smart stop. Again, the idea here is the software is always looking to help you preserve your capital, okay? And the best way that it can do that is to give you a game plan for pretty much any situation at any point in time. Right now, I see what the heck did I just do? Whoops. Sometimes you have to just start over. Too much clicking around. Let's pull, and again, here's the triple Qs. You've got your game plan. So imagine that's just one of these advantages of having the Trade Idea software. No matter where you are going to be game plan driven, statistical game plan. If I'm going long Netflix, I'm going to get out right here because this is trouble. And if I see it go up, I might take a little profit over here because it's had trouble here before. This is an educational component that reinforces proper behavior and reinforces proper risk management. Okay. So, let's see, let me read the last question. Can one customize money management parameters to change stops, exit, and charts, or is that fixed? Thank you, Barry. And also, once again, guys, on this Q&A, we really go high-level stuff, and obviously Barry is answering the question, but there are dives on every one of these components. One of the things, let me switch to simulated mode. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to go from interactive, I'm disconnecting. I'm going to switch to simulated mode and connecting there. And on simulated mode, again, I've been looking at some different positions, and again, and I go back and forth and see what I'm doing on simulated mode, see like how my ideas are coming through, and I really, obviously, Brad, like this number, but of course it's primarily JetBlue, which is a really big position. Here, once again, notice I can compare my pointage to my point losers, and I can see, okay, well, so these concepts and intuition points doing good, and And it gives you confidence that you are at least seeing something that's replicating and you're going in the right direction. So it's this 15,000 partly that fuels, and notice I have a position in Kodak in the other one. And it working in practice mode helps you to become a much, much better trader in real life mode.
You know, there was a question earlier, Dan, regarding automating Holly and what's the best way to get up to speed in doing that. And my suggestion was using the simulated mode right here. And you have the ability in the simulated mode to click on that Holly AI tab right there. Those are the different strategies that are presented today. And then you can go ahead and set up the instructions of how you want to enter into each one of these.
So here you can have long, and here my long is market. And I'm doing it based on a stop loss. This is a really cool thing where the software share sizes me automatically so that if I'm stopped out, I'm going to lose. This is my maximum. I can, of course, do something else, fixed dollars, fixed shares. You can do lots of different things. And, you know, you can call it long, super duper. I mean, you can make it anything you want. And again, customize the name, all these things. And the beauty too, Brad, is that, let's say you, I'm gonna click just one of these. So you don't even have to trade all of them. You can just say enable that one or something to that effect.
Yeah, you have them all on right now, but you can only enable if you want to enable just the longs, or you just want to enable a couple of them. You know, after you familiarize yourself with the different strategies and how they perform. And, you know, but ultimately there's some decisions you have to make, not only that share size or the quantity going in, how much you're committing, but also how long are you going to stay in these positions. And we offer a couple different options there. So it's not like it's just getting handed to you on a silver platter. You as a trader need to make a few decisions that are really important to the success of it.
But this is by far the most popular kind of innovation for active investors because it's a game-based, rules-based system that is looking at real-time data, and we keep programming it to try to be a good trader, and it knows how to do it statistically. So, you know, just a question, if a trend presents itself, it will be followed in either direction, up or down. That's why this is so popular. And so once again, here we have something else where we allow you to visually trade from the charts. You can take a B, drag it, let me zoom a little bit, and move your orders. So you can do this with real money or with your simulated trading. And I love this part because, Brad, although people probably didn't catch it, but when I placed this B in here, it automatically put a stop right here, all by itself. Okay, it knew where to do it. And what it's doing is, and by the way, you can adjust it if you think it's too much. So all of this is visual-based trading, and none of it will happen until the stock does something that you want it to do. Okay, you can approach every single stock this way, just like what I did. And this is the key. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the evolution. This is the Tesla part, right? If you're a little drowsy or you need some autopilot help, the Tesla will help you. This is the same thing. You're putting your buy price because you know it's gotten, let's say you want to even go right here. Okay. I want to see this thing go, but you got your stop there, and you can visually adjust your stop as it's moving. All just by drag and drop. Yeah, so Chris, I want to talk about that. Lots of people ask us, hey guys, what's in the strategies? Okay, there's a lot of secret sauce in the strategies, and I don't mean that in a sense that we don't want you to really know, but here's the deal. Part of what we did to make ourselves so successful is we have this statistical bank of strategy concepts, meaning like buying stocks as things are heading higher, or buying stocks as they're turning around, or selling short stocks when it looks like they've hit a top statistically, or selling short stocks when it looks like they've broken down. There's so many different ways, and we have a bank of these. We call this the combine, okay? So this bank is working all the time, studying and looking at what it just did to make sure that the best statistics are ready for tomorrow based on what it learned today, considering what it knew from the day before. This is all happening, and I think well, what I'm saying is that your expectations won't help you because they're changing all the time. The part of what the AI does, which is where we believe it excels, is it self-disassembles and reassembles at night. Brad, is that a good way to maybe describe it? Am I missing something?
Yeah, I don't know, full disassembling, but definitely looking for improvements and enhancements, and it does that every day based on the current day's data, and it builds upon it.
Well, but what I mean by disassemble, Brad, is that at this point right now, based on the strategies that were there today, which I traded, the slate is cleaned again. They're at zero. There's no strategies ready to go yet until the battle is done. That's what I'm saying. And that will be the reassembly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Yeah. I'm not meaning like, there's like AI coders doing stuff, but no, just saying that we as people, and we've been there, right? You want to know all of these nuts and bolts and stuff, but even Brad and I don't know them because they keep being changed by the computer system, by itself, which is what we designed it to do. So again, from that point of view, your guess is as good as mine, but you have to watch it, and as you follow it in simulated mode, you're going to get a really good feel of what to expect. And there's no other better way. Okay, you turn it on in simulation, put in like, okay, I'm going to buy 100 shares, or I'm going to buy $1,000 worth, whatever makes sense to you, where you feel like this is what I would be doing if I was doing it with real money. That's how it's done. And again, you get to learn so well from that experience. Yeah, Ian, not really. This whole like community stuff, it doesn't seem to be, in our opinion, how to find the best strategy. I think we've come up with that way. And it's not that, and we keep adding more data points. So from our point of view, we're totally strategy agnostic. I think what separates us is our ability to process the data the way we process and to run our customized statistical models, which infer things that we think others might not be inferring. But we're always, again, rebuilding everything. Yeah, there's some stats on the website, and we're adding more and more. That's a big thing that we're going to be doing, is some more AI transparency. But part of that too is it's kind of, we're trying not to put all the trades out there, because if they're part of the appeal is people get to look back. You can look at the AI historically. So our customers are always looking at past AI trades, seeing, setting up alerts, and we're going to be doing a lot of automation of that, so that the best of the AI is always kind of forward, and you're able to take advantage of much longer trends. Yeah. And again, we have tons of videos on how we do the statistical analysis. You can see how our odds maker runs, and things like that. So David, all of our recommendations are swing recommendations, okay? We make the computer attempt to get into trades that if you have the ability to stay in that trade, that you might not need to get out. Remember, the exit arguably more important than the entry is a very complicated individual sort of genetic trade fingerprint sort of thing. Everybody's got their own thing. Like I was showing you guys that I'm up 199 points in Amazon. Well, I think I was able to do that because I was only in 11 shares. You have to be able to take like 50-point swings, which is something that I hadn't done all that much before. So every single AI trade, but also every single trade that you pull up. So remember, here's one good example. Let me get so every window you can easily duplicate, and I'm going to switch this to the daily. So I guess IPO maybe, Brad, is that what that is?
What, that it's an IPO yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not zooming out past that, I would assume that.
Right. Okay, so back to David's question. So here, you're in DMYT, and you think, you know, this thing, for whatever reason you think it, I'm just saying, you think it's going to keep going. Well, the statistics tell you that it's been so volatile right now that you've got to basically give it to 1051, because it could stumble around all around here. Although, you know, again, that's statistically speaking. I think with this kind of run up, you know, I wouldn't like it even over here. But my point is, from a statistical point of view, it's telling you this is your swing exit. If you can stomach that, you might be all right for a long-term play. And that's in every single stock. Okay, so Michael, you take any AI trade that you saw today, like for example, Immunex, and just zoom in. You bought it and you just haven't sold it yet because it's been up all day. So you bought it right here and you held it 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 and you held it. You're still holding it. Why are you still holding it?
If you had the AI automatically get you into that position, you would have to intervene at some point and say, okay, I'd like to cancel my timed exit and I want to get out of it. But that's your decision and you need to make that.
Right, and Brad, can we customize it just the entry without the exit, or do you have to just cancel the exit?
Right, well, that's one of the things we were talking about earlier today. Right now, you just have to cancel it, but we are going to be offering some additional exit options in there, additional stop options, and the ability to customize these trades when you're automatically executing them. Of course, you can do it now kind of gray box style, but if you want to have it completely automated, we'll be adding those additional functionality that lets you do that.
Right, so Jim asked a question about how do you add a window from a channel to your layout. So what you would do is you would click on some channel, okay? And if I like this window, I would right click and duplicate it. So now I have my own version of it. Now I can do a couple of things here. I can right click and I can save it to the cloud and call it my account builder. So now it's there. Okay, so now you can always go and just reopen it, but you can also right click and pin it, okay, and then move it to where like you want that window to be, and then switch back to whichever layout you were in. Let's hypothetically call it this one, and it stays, and then you unpin it because you don't want to. So you unpin it and then save the layout. File, save layout.
Yeah, and then you could add it to a custom channel.
Yeah.
Like it's got one up at the top, but you can have up to 5 different custom channels. Those channels can be a full workspace. It could be a couple windows.
Yeah, so Jim, I would say there's great online videos for all of what you're asking right here. Super easy to find, lots of different stuff. Yeah, you can have, Mojave, you can have multiple stocks like kind of linked to one thing or another. And you can have 20 windows, 20 charts open potentially, and you don't have to have them all linked. Like in my example here, let me see if I have this done right. Yeah, notice how I click on Trill, okay, but the S&P window does not change. I click on NES, S&P stays, because that's kind of like I'm watching the entire market here, but I'm scrolling through whatever, you know, hits my attention, or I'm checking on my positions. Lance, you need Trader Workstation from IB. But we guys were very, very close to a fully launched version with Schwab TD Ameritrade. Yeah, Waleed, very, very, very soon, you're going to be able to trade Brokerage Plus through Thinkorswim. Brad and I were just talking about it. We can't really put a date on it yet, but it is coming very, very soon. We're constantly innovating, guys, and this is the thing too. I want to just refocus on what I was telling you. Simulation mode is your key to success. Nobody approaches simulation the way we do, and we do it in this way that's around your P&L, where you can really see the market in ways that you have never seen it before, which is waves of P&L. That's what you need to know. You need to learn how to deal with it, with your emotions. How do you be, has anyone been up 14,000 in a trade before? I don't say that flippantly, it doesn't happen to many people. And the stuff that you do, like with your 401k, I mean, that's kind of out there in another world. You know, someone else is doing that. But have you ever learned to have $14,800 worth of profit in a trade? Most people have not. And that's the difference. And that's why we are winning so big with the individual investor, with you guys, and with everybody else. You learn the proper things through here. There's nothing else like it. Let's go back to and finish up with our presentation. So guys, Barry Anderson is in the chat. He's been amazing in terms of our support in the trading room, being the moderator, helping lots of people get started. Barry does lots of simulation trading help, and he trades different, his own style, but also interacts with the AI all the time. A lot of gray box sort of stuff, where he's getting signals from some of we're getting the signals systematically, but he's definitely exiting them based on his own risk preferences. So Barry's a great way for anyone who's thinking about trade ideas to dip their toes. It's a free trading room subsidized by our subscribers for your benefit. It's very easy to get started, trade-ideas.com/trading room. We provide lots of information to help you in the market. This one is trade-ideas.com/earnings. It's an ebook. And we had a previous ebook that was on the downside of the market at a very good time. And that's something else that I wanted to show you when you guys were seeing what I was doing. Notice that I am also trading the downside of the market. Good investors don't get emotional about direction because you can go in either direction, okay? So you have to learn how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, well, then you haven't learned. You have to learn it. It's such a big advantage. So, and you do it, of course, again, we have free ebooks, but all throughout our software, reinforced practice through the simulation. And simulation is available for both premium and standard subscribers. Constant support, education, our own people, experts at the Trade Idea Systems are helping all new people get acquainted. There's education all throughout the week, and it's under the address trade-ideas.com/live, and you can sign up and participate. And also, of course, on the YouTube channel videos on virtually every component and details where you can just go over and over until you know exactly what it is that you're doing. We are a subscription-based service, but we're the only fintech consumer-facing AI, where you get an AI doing stuff for you, not an AI that's like checking our back office or accounting and trying to clean stuff up. No. This is like your virtual stock trading robotic AI that's really looking out for you because it's made by other yous. That's us. the ordinary guys. We're not billionaires. We're just good old-fashioned market participants who've been at it for a very long time, have learned so much primarily through bloody noses so that you don't have to. Okay, and if you want to take a look at it and try it out, we have a promo code for you, summertime, all caps, 15% off your first month or a year off of Trade Ideas. We have a podcast every Friday. Please search that up on your podcast search engine. And of course, we are very active on social media. You can check us out at Trade Ideas, at QuantBot, at Today Trader, like us on Facebook. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email at info@trade-ideas.com. And this Q&A webinar will be recorded and you will receive email, and we're just grateful for your time. Thank you very much. Scott, take it away.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you, Dan. Stay tuned for an update email from us with a link to the replay of the webinar. And thanks all for attending.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.